Guys, welcome back to another episode of Throttlecast, powered by Ride Lounge. This is Atlanta's premier vehicle storage and car social club. I'm Grant Van Brewer. I'm joined by my co-host, Dave Codrea, and then we have a special guest here today, Evan Halliday from RS Autohaus. How you doing, bud?
What's up, guys? I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Doing good, man.
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Things have been pretty busy for you here recently, I see.
They have been. It's been a whirlwind these past 6 months, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Awesome.
I love it. Yeah.
For the audience that doesn't know who you are, tell us who Evan is and tell us a little bit about RS Autohaus. Let's
Sure.
get to know you a bit.
So, Atlanta native, grew up here in Roswell, Georgia, so extremely familiar with the area. What's funny is I was always the kid that my parents thought would be the one. I'm one of three. One that moved to Hawaii or lived out of the country or something crazy, but I'm the one kid that came back to Roswell and now lives back in my hometown. So born and raised and been here 36 years now, and I've got two amazing boys, 5-year-old and 2-year-old, and an amazing wife. Been married for 7 years. So
Awesome.
I've been in the automotive industry now since 2012, so 13, 14 years going on now. And it's just always been a passion of mine growing up, which I'm sure a lot of your guests say. It's a disease that we all have. Yeah, it's a sickness that we have. And I think it's a privilege when you get to take something that's your passion and put it into a career, which I've been able to do and fortunate to do. So in 2012, I started my own business, and it was a supercar experience company up at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Ran that for a couple of years, ended up selling that company, and then dipped my toe into the corporate world. I worked at corporate Home Depot for 3 years, which I like. Nothing bad to say about Home Depot.
Yeah.
Fantastic, great company. But I learned very quickly that corporate life is not for me. Yeah. And so got a job working with a good friend of mine, Bert Strange at Merit Partners. Worked there for 6 years, learned a lot, and found an opportunity that we can dive into and talk about, but started RS out of that.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the Home Depot part. That's big corporate is tough.
Oh, yeah. And I learned so much from that, though.
Yeah.
I had a great manager. To this day, talked to him, just an amazing guy. But it was a work-from-home job. It was my first ever work-from-home job, and I was terrible at it. Because you're home and you hop on YouTube and watch whatever, and this is before kids. And so what's cool is I learned that lesson early on, and I got to carry that with me to all my other jobs, realizing that I got to get to a coffee shop or I got to get to a co-working space or something like that to hold myself accountable. So
Home Depot as an organization is phenomenal. Just like what you can learn there and build and grow is cool. I think it's great career-wise. You start at one of those places, you can see just how much they are able to crank out and do.
For sure. The one thing that drove me away from it ultimately was, though, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, is that I started realizing that I couldn't affect anything. Right? So I had a job. Here's your portfolio of customers. Make sure they're happy. Make sure they're buying from Home Depot, all of that. As an entrepreneur, I would look at that and I'd say, okay, cool. Oh, there's an opportunity. One of my clients told me that he's hurting here. Let's figure out how to fix this. Then, of course, my manager's like, yeah. And then would go to upper management and nothing.
Yeah.
So I did that about 5 times, and I was like, all right, this is driving me nuts. I
had a
this.
similar little 3-year stint in corporate America working for Verizon, so I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah, and here we are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the cars brought us back together.
So back to the entrepreneurial side, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so when people hear RS Autohaus, what do you want them to picture?
Good question. I want them to I don't know if this makes sense, but I want them to picture getting taken care of. One of the things that we do with our business that I think sets us apart is we go to our clients. So a lot of our competitors, and they do a phenomenal job. They represent the cars really, really well, but they require you ship the car to them. We go to our clients, so we typically go to their homes or we go to where the car is stored in a place like this and meet them, and we take them to dinner or take them to lunch, whatever the day entails. And to me, it goes such a long way of feeling taken care of, feeling actually seen in a way of like, all right, I'm the owner of this car and I'm meeting the guy selling my car and we're spending time together and we're bonding. And that's I don't want it to feel like a transaction for my clients. I want it to feel like I feel like the relationship thing is a little overplayed in a way. Like, oh, we're not about cars, we're about relationships.
Right.
Like,
Anybody can say that.
The cars are important too. Like, it's what's bringing us all together. They're awesome. But I want them to feel like they're being taken care of at the end of the day.
Yeah, genuinely speaking.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
You've been a fixture in Atlanta's car community for a while, and working on everything from modern exotics to blue chip collectors.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to us a little bit about some of the inventory that you've been able to touch over the years. Maybe some of the deals that people don't know about. I mean, you've done some pretty big stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's been, looking back on it, I still have to pinch myself from time to time. The cars I've been able to sell, touch, drive. One of my ultimate cars and memories has to be, I had the privilege, when I was with Merit Partners, I had the privilege of driving a 911R in California for Car Week for the entire week. This was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and it was a smaller operation at the time, so I think it was only me and Jonathan that went out there, and we had 2 cars, and he had a car and I had a car. So I got to drive a 911R around Monterey and Carmel all week long. And, it's not like a 918 that I drove at Amelia, or it's not a CGT that I've had the opportunity to drive a lot. But there was something about that experience, being in Monterey and being on the coast. And a 911R is just such an amazing car that was one of the ones that stood out the most to me, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had somewhat of a similar experience when I was working for McLaren, and I had a rental car, not to get too far off tangent here, but when I got to the rental car station, it was so beautiful outside. I'm going, man, maybe I can upgrade to a sports car. So I did just that. I rented a C7 Z06, and I drove that from L.A. all the way up PCH and then out to Palm Springs, where I then tracked McLarens out at the track all weekend at Thermal Club. And it was just, I think it's knowing the fact that you're not like close to the dealership and you eventually just have to bring it back in. I think it's nice being away from that setting to feel like you're really one with the car. You really get to experience it over, like you said, over a week. I mean, I'm sure that was just an incredible experience.
Yeah. One of the things I did while I was at Merit is the social media aspect of things. So I did a lot of review videos for them, a lot of, what's this car like videos. And so it was amazing because I got to drive some of the best, like an Enzo Ferrari and, CGT, 918, all these hypercars. But in a way, it also didn't stink, but it's just different because there was a route that we took every single time. It was the same route. It's public roads. You kind of know you can't be silly, all of that kind of stuff, because it's a multi-million-dollar car that you're trying to sell. Yeah, it's a small detail. And so an environment like that in California with a 911R takes you out of all of that, and it puts you in this new place with an amazing car. And to your point, it's just like it helps you see that car differently than just, I'm taking it on this road for 2 minutes.
Almost surreal in a way.
Yeah, it is.
Before the business, before the consignments, what really got you hooked on cars, maybe at a young age?
Great question. So for me, it's funny because my dad's not into cars. My older brother's not into cars. It honestly developed almost organically, almost in a way of just kind of that, like, this sounds weird, but like guys being guys. Me and my friends all loved cars growing up. And so my first job ever was at a classic car dealer called Fraser Dante that was in Roswell. I don't think they're around anymore, unfortunately. But I was 14 years old, and I always remember, like, I don't think I'm supposed to be working. I think, is it illegal to work at 14? Is that right? Do you guys know?
I think you're good.
Yeah.
You think I'm good? Okay. Not for me. I'm not worried. And I think they're I think they're not here anymore, so that's fine. But
they didn't chain you there, did they? That's different. Like, if they have you trapped there, that's not okay.
I did have some freedom. Only 2 cups of water a day. But so yeah, I mean, it was just always something. But I'll tell you the one thing though. There was one thing that like cemented it for me, and it was I was probably 12 years old. We took a trip to Europe. My family did. So we did London and we did Paris. And while we were in London, we were just walking the streets, and the McLaren dealership was right there, and there's a McLaren F1 in there. And as a 12-year-old kid, back then when, like, supercars weren't as prevalent as they are now.
No, they weren't.
So seeing a McLaren F1 in that place, and there's a little picture of me, 12-year-old me standing in front of it, the glass, and then the McLaren F1 behind me, and that was it. Once I saw a McLaren F1 in person, it was done.
My personal all-time favorite.
Oh, yeah.
I know there's a lot of diehard CGT fans out there, but to me, the McLaren F1 takes the cake.
So whenever anybody asks me what your favorite car is, I always say, all right, McLaren F1, we'll get that out of the way, and then I'll, like, get into, like, all right, well, how about this?
Amazing. So I guess at what point in time did it go from, like, hobby to, man, I think I want to do this as a full-time career? What was that moment?
I've always been entrepreneurial in the way that I have thought, and like I was the kid in my neighborhood with the lawn mowing service that I'd charge $20 for people to mow my lawn, right? Or mow their lawn. And it really took off so I went to Clemson, graduated from Clemson University, and started at a startup company in Buckhead. And amazing company, an amazing group of guys. And those guys were car guys too, luckily. So, like, I remember one of the C-level guys got the V8 M3 convertible, and it was brand new. And we all drooled over that and would go to lunch and that and stuff. It was amazing. And there was, I forget the name, not Extreme Experience, but it was a company out in Las Vegas that was doing the supercar experience on a racetrack. And at the time, I was like, all right, there's nothing like that here, and even on the East Coast, really, at the time.
No, at the time, yeah.
And AMP was just starting. Like they had started paving, so it was coming together, and it was brand new. And I went to the guys in the company. I just pitched them. I was like, "What about this company that's already out in Vegas and already doing well? What if we Exotics Racing? That's the name of the company. What if we carbon copy that and we put it over here? Like, if you can make it work, man, we'll seriously consider."
These are guys you are currently working with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're like, okay, fine, here's my idea.
Yeah, they were very open to it. And they ended up being investors. So I reached out to Jeremy Porter, owner of AMP, and we sat down, and I pitched him the idea, and he's like, yeah, absolutely, let's do this. So I went back, said, guys, I got it done. They invested, and we started Velocity Motorsports. So that's awesome. My first, like, entrepreneurial piece.
So, hey,
of
this works, it's going to set up, and now I don't work here anymore, or what was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't say something about my
work ethic, man. I think it's awesome.
No, I think they were so excited about the idea in general and being investors in this supercar experience company that and it had worked out well because they had just sold the company like right before that, so they all had a little time extra. Yeah. Oh, looking back on it, I am a Christian, so I believe a lot in that stuff, and I just see like the timing of that.
Yeah.
Was on you couldn't write it. It was amazing.
And how long did you run that business for then?
About 2.5 years, and then I ended up selling it, and then that's when I went into the Home Depot stuff. Yeah.
What was it like running Velocity Motorsports? I mean, can you talk a little bit more about just once you get it off the ground, people are driving cars. I mean, what was it like just day to day for those years running that?
I'll tell you, I wish I could go back knowing everything I know now and redo it, for sure. But it was, golly, man, it was just a wild time. Trying to figure out, I mean, this is the age. Instagram is just coming around. Nobody really knows how to market on Instagram. Nobody knows, there's no reels. Nobody knows exactly how to utilize Instagram yet. Facebook is definitely a big part of advertising. But it was so grassroots, and it was so trying to figure this thing out and how can we get clients to understand who we are, because the sales pitch was easy. It's like, hey, you want to drive a Ferrari around a racetrack for 3 laps? Everybody'd say yes. Yeah. It was just finding those people and getting our name out there. So at the time, you guys remember Groupon?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Would you utilize a little Groupon?
Oh, yeah.
That was the pitch?
Yeah. So we utilized Groupon, which did work for a time, but helped us get off the ground. But where we found our niche in that was corporate events. So companies in Atlanta that wanted to entertain their team or clients, whatever. And so we found a little niche there because we didn't travel around the country and built that niche. So it
Amazing.
It was great. Yeah.
I mean, that's like the Porsche experience now. That's huge for corporate events. Like,
yes.
They built a whole compound around
yeah.
it.
And to be honest, I'm glad the timing of all that worked the way it did, because I don't know how you compete with Porsche Experience Center, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like $700 to drive a GT4 for 2 hours. Yeah. I was charging $300 for 3 laps. $700 for 2 hours, hour and a half on the
with
track.
Experienced drivers and the event space.
Yes.
And it's amazing.
And what kind of cars did you have during the time? A Ferrari?
So we started with a 991.1 Carrera S and a Ferrari F430. So we called them ketchup and mustard because it was red and yellow. Nice. Yeah. And then by the time I sold it, we had 11 cars. We had a Nissan GTR, a Lamborghini Gallardo Balboni, a McLaren MP4-12C.
Yeah.
That car at the time, holy cow.
Oh, yeah. If you got it running all the way, there's not a more rewarding car to drive.
That's true.
It may not sound the best. It may look a little funky, but as far as like just driver feedback that you get from that car.
Oh, yeah. Were you in McLaren at the time when they launched that?
We had one remaining 12C Spider when I started in early 2015.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we ended up selling that car for like $80,000 off MSRP.
Oh, have you seen what they're going for now? We can pick them up for now.
Oh yeah, I mean you're sub 100.
Yeah,
on, car
yeah.
with 20,000 miles. Not too much of a story.
Crazy.
Yeah, which are actually better cars than what these cars were brand new for the most part.
Yeah,
yeah. Had all the updates.
But man, at the time, I remember that car was like in the fleet. We had a Scuderia, we had a couple other stuff, but like that was the one back then.
The carbon tub. It had the air brake.
Yep.
Had the crazy doors.
Yeah, and it was crazy fast.
It was. Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah, and then they were, 595 out of the factory, and then they did updates later, made them like 616 horsepower.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Most of them have been upgraded.
Was that the one that kind of had I mean, you've got a dozen cars now that are all high-end.
Yeah.
And probably fairly demanding, or experienced customers. Like, how did you take that knowledge to where you're at now?
You're saying the cars that I had at Velocity?
Yeah, I mean, and the customers that you had there.
Oh, good question.
High-end cars with high-end customers.
Yeah, what's funny is this industry is a small industry.
Most definitely.
It is a very tight-knit group, and what's really cool is I still am extremely close friends with a lot of the guys that were my clients at Velocity that were local, and they came up and they did it, and we hit it off, and so friendships were made out of that. And then, yeah, I mean, there's guys still to this day that will, I guess, buy from me or sell with me, most likely, that, yeah, I know from the Velocity days. It's just incredible how long that life cycle is and how people stick with you, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I still talk to guys that I met 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, one guy that I've sold probably the most exotic cars to ever. I mean, I sold him a BMW back in 2000, 10.
Yeah.
And he ended up spending the most money with me throughout my entire, I guess, sales journey, as you could say. So
you treat them right.
People remember you.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the circle.
Yeah. If you treat them right, then they won't go anywhere else.
So how did the transition begin to evolve? Okay, so you sold Velocity.
Yeah.
And then was it Merit Partners next, or was there something in the middle? And then how did you end up getting to, I guess, then selling the collector grade or what they refer to as blue chip cars? How did that transpire?
So after Home Depot, I left Home Depot and tried a company up and coming, small marketing company for car dealerships up and coming. Great business, great company. As a matter of fact, me and my wife were going to move out to Arizona to kind of help with some West Coast stuff they had going on. And my wife got pregnant. So we decided very quickly, not going to do that because both our parents are here in town. So did that. And then me and Bert, so Bert's the CEO of Merit, we did Velocity together. So he was the VP of sales at Velocity.
Okay.
And we had just remained friends throughout the course. He actually married me and my wife, so we stayed close friends. And we went over to their house one night to tell them we were pregnant. And that same night, he's like, "Hey, why don't you come work with us at Merit?" I was like, "That's interesting." He knows this at this point, but the funny thing is, I kind of played hard to get that night. I was like, "I really got to think about it, man. I I don't know. That seems, it could be hard. And then I got in the car with my wife after that dinner. I was like, yeah, I'm going over there. So, we started that 2019, right before the pandemic. And it was awesome. It was a great move for us. Got to work with our friends and see that company grow from, I was the 4th employee they hired, and to see that company now 12, 13, 14 employees, it was awesome.
Pretty cool to be a part of. Yeah. Talk about maybe some of the good times or maybe even some of the challenges along the way, not with velocity, but maybe, in selling these blue chip cars. I mean, for those that don't know, I mean, look, I've sold Toyotas, I've sold Fords, I've sold Mazdas, BMWs. But when you step up to the exotic car world, everything changes. Yeah. People think that it's just the same, but it's just a higher price vehicle, but that's totally not the case. Yeah. Walk us through some of that.
Yeah, I think what I've learned is that you can't just wing it in exotic car, high-end car sales. You have to be extremely due diligent. And what I mean by that is, like, let's say we're selling this GT4 here, right? It takes a level of due diligence to go through that car and make sure everything is dialed in, ready to go. And if it's not, you communicate that with the client. One of the worst things is when you do your best and you think you've got everything covered and you don't. Yeah. And you send the car to the guy and there's just that one thing you missed and he sees it. And but in those times I've learned it's all about how you make it right for them, because mistakes happen. Yeah. They're going to happen. But it's about how you overcome that and how you make it right with the client. But, yeah, I mean, it was a learning curve when I started at Merit to, especially the Porsche world. The Porsche world is just so nuanced. There's so many different things on air-cooled, water-cooled, manual, PDK, so many different things you have to look for. And so now at RS, what we do is, I was telling you about the 718 Spider we had coming in today. I mean, we have a whole check-in process. We have an entire process that before we even get started on the car, photographing the car, that we make sure everything is as it should be, so that when we're presenting the car to the Bring a Trailer world, that it's represented the best that we possibly can. And I think that's the most important thing in the exotic car world.
You almost have to, because the next owner is going to do that regardless. Yeah. So you might as well get it out of the way.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I remember I used to just, if I had an out-of-state buyer, especially like California, somewhere where you've got $3,000 one-way shipping involved, something like that. Yeah. I mean, I would literally walk around the vehicle and I would point out every single imperfection. And I'm like, look, if you don't want to buy the car over that, no hard feelings. I'd rather you see this stuff and tell me no than the other way around and say, oh, yeah, it's a nice car. And then you send it there and, like you said, the guy sits
out there and it's coming back.
Man, it always. I've seen so many guys in this industry get bitten by doing it that way. You just can't. You can't maintain a client book if you continually do it that way. You have to just disclose everything and leave it up to the buyer.
If you call somebody and you ask them how the car is and they're like, oh, it's perfect, huge red flag. Yeah. No car with any amount of miles is going to be perfect.
We were talking about this on our previous podcast. I mean, even brand new cars have imperfections.
Yes, absolutely. Especially new Porsches. Yeah. I mean, they have to go through a level of, like, reconditioning now of paint correction and stuff when they take all the plastic off. Yeah, but.
So let's talk about RS Autohaus a little bit here. Yeah. What inspired it, and what makes it different than a traditional dealership?
So me and Cody, my business partner, we were working at Merit together, and we had built a great relationship. He was the marketing guy there, so he handled all the YouTube videos, social media marketing, all of that. I was obviously in sales. And so we were helping Merit sell some cars on Bring a Trailer. And over the course of the years, we've all seen Bring a Trailer and this journey that it's had of, being like a joke of literally bring a trailer, because that's the kind of cars you're buying here, to now, honestly, the king. Like, they are the ones getting the most eyeballs, selling crazy cars for crazy numbers.
Obscene numbers.
Yeah. And so we saw that and we're like, there's an opportunity here. The cars we were selling with Merit were doing well. And we thought that we could do our own spin on that. And to a lot of Merit's credit, take what we learned at Merit, sort of that relationship, that, you know, making sure they feel taken care of, taking that and putting it into the auction space. And so that's what we focus on, and that's what we've been doing.
Yeah. So you start out, so it's your focus is the auction world, not the private sale component?
Yes. So the two main focuses we have are the auction route. And then the second is, again, we come to you. So a lot of the guys require you to ship the car to them, which makes a lot of sense, right? Because you can control, if the car comes in and needs something, it's in your possession, you can handle it. So there is a level of, we've had to figure this out in the last 6 months, of if a car is with a client, making sure we gather the true information, because clients do like to say my car is perfect, right? So gathering the true information on the car so that we can almost remotely take care of all of that stuff for them. We'll line everything up, and then we'll fly out to them, do all of our photography, all of our videography, and get the car listed on Bring a Trailer for them.
It's awesome. That's convenient, too. And you cover your bases while doing that.
Yes, yes.
It's one thing to say, okay, you want to list this car, you're located in Nevada, send me some pictures and I'll list it for you.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. You're setting yourself up for failure.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't do that.
Are more people doing, like, no reserve, or they want to have a reserve in there? How
risky
people get with this thing?
Yeah, we pitch the no reserve because there is a science behind no reserve. I don't fully understand it. I don't fully get it, but there's a science behind it.
You know it's actually going to get sold. When there's a reserve and you're bidding on stuff, you're like,
yes. Am I going to hit it?
No reserve?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I can't actually buy this today.
Yes. As the seller, though, we've just run into guys not being able to get over that hump, being able to get over the no reserve hump. So we haven't run one of those yet. All of our auctions have had reserves, and that's, to be honest, that's an art too. So when you go to Bring a Trailer and you say, I want this reserve, 99% of the time, I think we've only had one time Bring a Trailer come back and they're like, yep, good to go. Me and Cody were both like, what? What is this? So they'll come back with something that you will not be happy with, and I'll just tell everybody out there who's going to run something on Bring a Trailer, you will not be happy with what they send you originally as a reserve, but there's an art to stating your case and explaining why you want the reserve where it is. And if you can do that, then typically you get, like, I don't know, 5% above wholesale. So above wholesale for your reserve.
Okay.
Or trade value, I should say. Yeah.
It may bring up a good case for you to do no reserve on these next ones then. If you get your reserve rejected.
The no reserve brings the excitement. You see those, you're like, okay, these people bidding and talking about it, I'm like, yes.
All you need is 100%. A couple and get some good success stories, and then you could say, hey, and just look at the data, right?
Yeah.
To your next clients, I'm sure.
There's a guy in our industry, and he's very successful, and that's all he does.
He only does no reserve.
Only does no reserve. And I forget what car, it was recent. It was in the last month. He ran a car, and it brought a massive number. Wow. And he did an Instagram post of this whole long thing of why no reserve. And it was kind of an advertisement for, hey, come to me. But it also, I mean, I can't argue with it.
If it works.
Yeah,
if it works, it's a really good advertisement.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I would assume you just have more active bidders, right? Because
I think so.
There is no floor to it.
I think so.
Yeah. And then you get people kind of fighting over the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think people focus on the downside of no reserve, which is, I mean, your car's not going to sell for $6.
No way.
It's not going to happen.
No,
but
I'll buy it.
Yeah, right.
As a buyer, like, I've never sold anything, but you like buying them because you can actually get it.
Yes. Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah. It makes sense.
And then RS Autohaus. I love the name, by the way.
Thanks, man.
How'd you come up with that? I can guess, but.
Can I be honest with you?
Sure.
Okay, there's half, like, good story, half kind of funny. The RS obviously spent a lot of time around Porsche. That's kind of what Merritt specializes in, is Porsche and Ferrari. So RS to us is always that attainable goal, is that top of the top. It is that, everything named RS in the Porsche world is the best of the best. Yeah. And so that is what we wanted to go after, and what we wanted to associate our brand with was the best. The Autohaus thing, ChatGPT.
Okay. Hey, AI works, man.
It does. What's funny is over the last, 6 months, year, we have seen so many companies with the name Haus, H-A-U-S,
like German, right?
pop up, in the last, 6. So it's
got a nice flair to it.
We see that and we're like, ChatGPT?
Yeah, when you see that, When you see that, it kind of leans towards automobiles just because you see it a little bit more frequently.
That,
Otherwise, you'd look like a real estate company, right?
Right. It's funny when you see like an ice cream shop that's like cream house. It's like, that doesn't really fit. But with the car stuff, it definitely fits.
It's amazing. You've probably seen every type of buyer there is out there, emotional, analytical, the guy chasing a childhood dream, the ego guy.
Yeah.
How do you tailor to these different personalities? That's something that I ran to a bunch over my career with exotics.
It's a blend of mirroring with still being yourself.
Yeah.
So I tend to match the energy of whoever I'm dealing with, I'm not going to be a crazy high energy guy with a very low energy person. I feel like that would make him very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Him or her very uncomfortable. The thing is, though, I'd never want to come across, and I've actually thought about this, like if I'm in a group of people and I'm in a circle of 4 guys and they're all 4 different, I don't want to look at this one guy and be acting away in front of everybody else and then look at this guy and act a certain, like I want to be the same person that everybody knows who Evan is. Everybody knows his temperament. Everybody knows who he is as a person. But I have levels of, all right, if you're a high energy guy, I can match your high energy.
Sure.
If you're a low energy guy, I'll be chill.
Yeah.
I'll hang with you.
Within your own perspective range, right?
Yeah. But me as a core of a person,
that doesn't change.
Does not change.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. For somebody that's starting to build a collection today, what kind of advice would you give him in the current market? I know it's a little dicey because it's just all over the place, but I had to ask the question.
Couple things. So I'd be seriously honest as to where you are in your journey. So if you're just starting out and you're just like, this is your first go at it, this is going to sound kind of biased, but I would start with Porsche. Porsche is just, they're so consistent. The market's always there. It is a really great brand to start your collection with. Ferrari's great as well, but you are going to be spending a lot more money.
Yeah.
And upkeep of those cars is just on a different planet.
Could get a little hurt.
Yeah. The thing that I've run into a lot with guys collecting cars that have made mistakes is, like, they'll go all in on Mopar, right? They'll say Mopar's it, the Demons and the Red Eyes and the final editions, they're going to go through the moon. And so they just go all in on that. Well, obviously they didn't. So now you have a full collection of 20 of these cars. So I think you have to just sometimes take the emotion out of it a little bit. Like, being passionate about Porsche, being passionate about Ferrari is important. Being passionate about Mopar is important. But sometimes guys cloud their judgment because they're so passionate about something, and it's like a childhood dream car of theirs.
Yeah.
That it can ruin a collection. So I think to take emotion out of it a little bit and look more analytical.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't like a GT3 RS 4.0, I'll use that as an example. Even if you look at that car and you're like, I think the Ferrari 599 is a better looking car, or whatever it is, it doesn't change the fact that the 4.0 over the last year has exploded and will continue to.
I mean, first it was 750, now it's $1 million. I mean,
that's right.
Continue to climb.
That's right. So I think, going back to my first point of being honest with yourself, is can you take that emotion out of it a little bit?
Yeah.
And can you have a couple cars here that are like, all right, these are my playthings. These are like my childhood dream cars. But then from the actual collection side of it, let's look at that and make sure that you're putting the right pieces of the puzzle into it. Because if you use emotion for everything, you could end up with a pretty sore collection.
Yeah. Not only that, but you'd basically wipe a customer off of your book by recommending the wrong cars to purchase.
Oh my gosh!
Now he's underwater on everything, right?
Yeah. If you recommend, and you're not going to bat 1,000.
Yeah.
For sure. But if the other thing is if you own it, right? So like if you missed on a car and you thought it was going to be something, like I remember the 675 LT. Ugh. I thought that car was going to be, and it still could. It was still early.
Could. Yeah.
But I thought that car was going to go to the moon.
Yeah, hopefully not yet, because I haven't bought mine yet. So.
Yeah, I know, right? Me neither.
You got to You got to buy it first and then do it.
Oh my gosh!
But you know how that car
like
is so
the attainable
special.
Dream car. Yeah.
Yes,
it's definitely special. And
it's
last car built under Ron Dennis.
Yes,
which he was a stickler. But I tell you what, those were some of the most reliable cars we had at the time. I mean, we left one sitting there. It seemed like a year in the showroom on a tender. Hadn't been started in months. You'd fire it right up. I mean, unless you modify it, the cars are pretty solid.
Yeah.
You know, I love those.
And they drive like they're on rails. Like the 720 drives like a big car. The 675 drives like a little go-kart.
Yeah.
They're so fast. They sound great.
Yeah.
So I put some clients into that car, and they haven't gone down, but they didn't do what I said they were going to do.
No.
And I owned it. I had to say, sorry, maybe drive it. And once I started driving it, then they were fine because they're like, oh, this is awesome. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to bat 1,000. It's just owning the ones that you don't get.
The one that did do pretty good, and I think it'll continue to climb, is the MSO HS.
Yes.
The 688.
Yes.
I see a lot of these kids in the it's not a 688, buddy. Let me tell you something. When I was in MSO in England, the guys that were there with McLaren were saying, "Yeah, we've got 4 688s here." These are guys internally at McLaren.
I think I trust them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think
I know it says
them.
MSO HS on the side, but internally speaking, they were 688.
How many of those did they make?
They made, what was it, 50?
Yeah. Okay.
25 or 50.
So even.
Yeah, and then a few carbon body
so
cars.
So rare.
I mean, just incredible.
Yeah. Those are awesome.
How many people you have buying stuff that they're committed to their collection, like increasing in value versus just enjoying what they have?
That's a great question. I would say that shifted in like 2021, 2022 to be people looking at their collection as an asset, as looking at it as a portfolio that should go up in value. Traditionally, you had like the blue chip F40s, F50s, stuff like that people knew went up in value, F1s, all of that. But the standard 911, like think about it, when the GT3 RS 4.0 came out in 2010, 2011, whenever they delivered them, people, I remember, because I was at AMP at the time, running Velocity at the time, people just drove those.
Yeah.
Like they put them on the track, drove them. Because people weren't anticipating even a numbered car like that was special to do what it is doing now. So the mentality around this whole thing has changed in the last 5 years to now these are actual assets that I can put in my garage and see go up. So to answer your question, now it's probably 80%. Yeah, it's huge.
That's a lot.
Yeah, everybody wants to see their cars go up in value now, which is a blessing and a curse, but yeah.
What are some of the parts of the business that people don't see with RS Autohaus? Talk about kind of the entrepreneurial part of your business. What all, I know it's our job as custodians of whatever brand we're selling or whatever business that we're selling from. We want to make it look easy.
Yeah.
Nobody sees all the hard work, and you really don't talk to them about it because you want to make it seem effortless. Talk about some of that behind-the-scenes stuff, like people have no idea about.
Yeah.
What it takes.
It's the quieter times that are the hardest times, meaning that when me and Cody are just running like we are today, just driving all over town and trying to get cars up and handling current auctions that are live and stuff, like those are the easy times, because to your point, it's what people kind of see. It's the times when you have a day where no live auction is going, you don't have your phone's not ringing off the hook, you don't have all this stuff going on. Those are the hardest times of finding how to stay productive, how to get after it, how to make sure that, because I tell Cody this all the time. We've been very fortunate and very blessed to have the business we've had so far, but 6 months from now, we can't depend on that. We have to continue going after it and continue bringing that business in. So I would say the things that people don't see is like how me and Cody have to be strategic in, all right, how are we going to reach our next audience? How are we going to educate people on what RS does? And how do we get people essentially calling? How do we get people saying, all right, I want you guys to represent my car? So it's almost a marketing question of like, how are we going to market to these people? But in our downtime, it's the constant conversation right now in our 6-month-old company stage of just how are we going to get the name out there? And we haven't quite figured it out perfectly yet, but that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
So
Everyone's got that one car that started it all. What was yours? I guess it was the McLaren F1.
No.
No,
not the F1.
No, it wasn't the F1. It's actually funny enough. You have it in here.
Oh, is that right?
It's the Dodge Viper, the
I
Gen
love it.
2 Dodge Viper.
I love it.
There was a guy. Actually, there's 1A, 1B. So Dodge Viper is one. There was a guy in our neighborhood growing up that had one that it was everything. I thought it was the coolest thing.
Like
exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's cool now. You see them now, but like if you had that actually in the 90s.
Yes.
You were doing it.
I'm telling you, like, and we talk about this all the time. That back then, if you saw a Ferrari 360 going down the road, like I remember scaring my mom because I would like yell and be like, "Ferrari!"
Full freak out mode.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nowadays, you see any Ferrari, it's like, yeah.
Or it's like, oh, that's
There's a guy.
so-and-so.
There's a yeah. 1B was there was a 996 GT2 yellow. My girlfriend at the time, her neighbor, he always had his garage door open, and he always had the back end of that car.
You guys just sold one of those.
Just sitting there.
997 GT2 is what we sold.
Yep.
This is a 996
Six?
GT2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was the back end of like 996 has its stuff, right? But the back end of a 996, especially the wide ones like a GT2.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh, so good.
So rare and so expensive during that time.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was a lot of car to purchase back then.
Oh, yeah. That was like in the DuPont registry guide. That was like up there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mario, how are we looking? Okay. How much more time you got?
I'm good.
I got a couple other categories here.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Like 13, 14?
I was thinking, 13. 13, 14, and 15, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready. Okay.
Cool.
So let's talk a bit about life outside of the cars. What do you like to do outside of business? Tell us a little bit about what your life's like, you know.
My two kids take up most of it right now.
Yeah.
5-year-old and 2-year-old.
Do we need to get them on here and be like, hey, what are we going to have Dad do now?
Yeah, exactly.
Are they totally into the cars?
My 5-year-old is.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Whenever I bring a car home, he freaks out. He has to see it. Loves it. The brighter the color, the better the car, according to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Makes it cooler instantly if it's a bright color. So they are kind of my life right now, but outside of that even, I love golf. Golf is like my little side hustle hobby thing that I just love doing. Me and my brother and my dad have played it for years together, and it's something I do to just get out in nature, unwind. Still not very good at it, but I don't even care. It's just fun.
Like my dad says, it's a game he could never get good at.
And that's why it's fun. It's awesome. Yeah, even Tiger Woods, like the best in the world, has had his bad days. So when I have bad days, I'm just like, I'm like Tiger Woods.
Yeah, there you go. What's something that somebody would not expect of you?
Oh, man.
I know it's a big one.
What's something that somebody wouldn't expect of me would be that.
Outside of cars.
Maybe some people would expect this of me, but I am a massive goofball. Like, in my private life, I am just an absolute, and my wife would tell you to her embarrassment, a goofball.
And then a couple of more things. RS Autohaus has had an amazing journey over the last 6 months. I'm sure you've thought about this, but where do you see this going 3 years down the road, 5 years, maybe 10 years down the road? What's the grand vision of where you hope to end up at?
So me and Cody just talked about this today at lunch.
Fresh off the press.
Fresh off the press, man. Like this is right in the front of the mind.
Good.
You know, we don't have an immediate answer to it yet because we've got a couple different visions, and we talked today that it's not a bad thing to have multiple visions of this right now.
Yeah.
So one of the things we talk about and see is different cities, type of like branches almost of nothing big. Like right now we're in a 1,600 square foot facility. Just doing that across the country so that you don't have to spend $1,100 to fly to California. Make that a little cheaper. But that's an idea. The other idea is, the one thing we struggle with is like, hey, should we just make this us? Like, is this just a thing that we do that pays the bills, that allows us to support our families. We love doing it. We love working with each other. So should we like protect this and keep this here? Because we also love flying to our clients and the whole experience of it, of getting on a plane and going to a different town and going to a guy's house and learning about his car and learning about his life and meeting his wife and meeting his kids. And like, there's part of me that doesn't want to stop that and give that up.
There's adventure to it, man.
Yes, yes. And I feel like if we grow the business with more employees and people taking over our roles, because that's what, I don't know where you guys are in your real estate side of things, but like the whole thing of growing your business is you replace yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's how good management works, is you replace yourself so that you can worry about running the business. I don't know if I want to do that. So that's right now, that's where we're at vision-wise, a couple different lanes.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, a lot of times, hopefully, if you start a business, it's something you like doing and you want to be doing it. So you started because you like doing it.
Yes.
And then if you hire everyone else to do what you like doing, then what do you do?
Yes.
Play more golf.
Yeah,
I could. I could.
It's tricky.
Yeah. But at the same time, I always want the balance to be with my boys as well.
Yeah.
Which, being an entrepreneur can give you that, but it can also not give you that,
Sure.
depending on how demanding it is. So that's the thing we talk about too, is what if we grow, because right now we are we're not at our limit at all, but we can see ourselves getting there. So what happens when we get there? Do we hire somebody? So I don't know. I think that's what's fun about entrepreneurship, is that it's something that you're always trying to, like, kind of like golf, right? Like
Yeah.
You can never perfect golf. I don't think you can ever perfect entrepreneurship. It's something that you're always going to have a challenge. You're always going to have to figure something out.
That's right.
And so the vision for our company right now is something that we're just kind of working through.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So this is it seems like everybody's favorite part. So we'll just do some rapid fire here. Dream 3-car garage today. Go.
F1 997.2 GT2 RS. And this is going to be tough. And so many people are going to meet crap for this. Aston Martin Valor.
Oh, interesting choice.
The V12 manual new look is just...
It's incredible looking. Yeah.
So good.
Favorite driving road or track?
Oh, man. Okay. Can I do one of each?
Sure.
Okay. So favorite track that I've been on is actually Barber.
Okay.
And then favorite road I've been on, Highway 1 for scenic, Tail of the Dragon for like just craziness.
Yeah. Manual or paddle shift forever?
Manual.
Okay. Good
Easy.
choice. Most underrated car you've ever driven?
Ooh, Mercedes AMG GT Black Series.
Okay.
Monster.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a cushy Mercedes. I think it's a missile.
Yeah. Crazy wing on the back.
Yeah, it's awesome.
One car trend you hope never dies?
Manual transmissions.
Good answer. One you wish would?
Which one do I hate? Which one do I hate more? I mean, just obnoxiously loud exhaust systems.
Okay, I can agree with that.
It's so bad. Just a good exhaust is awesome. I'm down for a good exhaust, but just like straight piping certain things.
There's a nice balance to
So
it.
you're not a fan of like the '90s Honda?
Gosh,
Rippers.
no. The screamers that sound like they put a can on the back.
Yeah.
No, like a CGT is a perfect example. If you hear a straight pipe CGT, and this is probably gonna be controversial as well, it's just too much.
It is
just
unbearably loud.
too loud.
Yeah.
But you put a good solid exhaust system on it.
Yeah.
Oh, you get that
Sounds
like
great on the
F1
internet,
sound.
you know?
Yeah. Right. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Anybody that says, "Oh, straight pipe CGT sounds great," it's like, okay, did you see it on Instagram or have you seen it in person? Oh, on Instagram. Okay, yeah.
Dude, one of my
Here in person.
one of my clients, hopefully we'll get him on here, Dustin Farthing. He had a Riviera Blue GT3 RS with a full, it's like top speed or top end exhaust.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it hurt your ears every time you started it up. It was unbelievable.
Did you like it, or were you like, that's too loud?
I did not like it.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no. It was. I mean, the idle of that was louder than the revs of just about anything there.
It's like you turn it on, you're like, this is great. Can we turn it off? Can we turn it off now?
It was ridiculous, but all respect to Dustin. You know, he's out there. So
can we turn it off now?
Well, Evan, thanks for joining us, man.
Of course.
Appreciate you sharing all your stories about
this was
RS
fun.
Autohaus and your entire journey. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for having me on.
Appreciate
it.
Thank you, guys.
Starting it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you
And
so much.
Where can people find your company?
Yeah, so Instagram, RS Autohaus. Autohaus is AUTOHAUS,
Okay.
so Autohaus. And then rsautohaus.com. And if anybody wants to get in touch with us, just DM us or hit the contact us on our website.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks a bunch.
All right,
Appreciate it.
See ya.